You look like yin and yang. It's like total opposites.
Yeah, but it works.
Yeah, it's cute. It works.
Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another episode of Model Mukbang. Today I have a very special someone.
Hey guys. My name is Karah Katenkamp.
Karah and I actually met this summer at a job.
On my birthday.
On your birthday? Holy shit, yeah, we
special.
did. Was that just the one-day job? Or was the...
Yeah.
So yeah, we met this summer. We were shooting a Kleinfeld bridesmaids thing bridal party.
Yeah, we had to dance. It was really fun.
Yeah, we had a really good day. And then since then, we've been working together like every 2 months, I guess? Every 2 or 3 months?
Running into each other at casting stuff.
Yeah, we actually ran into each other like 2 days ago. We had planned to film this video, so yeah. So Karah is, first of all, she has a really cool story, which is why I wanted to have her on the channel. But she's also the first plus size model that I've had for my model mukbang. So I've obviously never been a plus size girl, but I think that the experience is quite different, and I'm really excited for you to share like your experience. Let's get into the food first.
Yes.
We're keeping it really healthy today. We were kind of trying to figure out what to have.
Yeah, it's like in the middle of fashion week, so I feel a little bit more pressure to like not get bloated or to remain, you know.
Yeah. So we're being conservative, and we got conservative. We got sweet green.
It's really good.
What salad did you get?
I got the buffalo chicken. It's seasonal, so limited time.
Get yours while you can.
Limited time only. Buffalo chicken sweet green sauce. They did a really good one in the summer that's limited time only. So
sometimes Trader Joe's has seasonal things. I remember one time they had a vegan mayo.
Oh, they don't have it anymore?
They got rid of it. They just...
That's rude.
Yeah. Yeah, it's rude. Exactly.
I follow them on Instagram, so I get all the updated...
Trader Joe's list?
Yeah, it's great.
Follow Trader Joe's list, guys.
Yep.
Bread. Oh, you're digging it out.
I'm taking it out.
Okay.
Yep. That's one thing about me, is I'm very quirky. So we will laugh a lot.
I love your quirk.
You're so spicy. It's gonna be great. They say it makes you live longer, so we're just gonna go for that. I think one of my pet peeves is like having to like watch people eat. So this is interesting.
Oh,
that I'm here making you guys watch me eat.
And you have to watch me eat.
I've never been into the videos where they like
mukbang.
Yeah, where it's just
this is not a serious mukbang. A lot of people think that this doesn't count because I don't burp, we don't slurp, we don't make sounds.
We can't. I don't know. I've never done that. I can't do it on command. It'd have to be.
I can't burp like in general. I feel like.
Yeah, I don't think that happens.
I think
to me
that only happens if you eat certain foods.
If I drink a seltzer water, I will burp. But I can't do the videos where there's like no talking and it's strictly just like.
I think you should do that for your channel. Also, Karah, I think it would do really well. Karah is gonna start her own YouTube channel very soon, so I'll keep you posted.
I'm going to LA on Sunday for 4 days. So I think I'm gonna try to do a video about working with that client.
I would watch. Before we started filming this video, we walked over to Sweet Green. It was a nice walk. It took us probably like 30 minutes to go there and back. And Karah's actually the first person where I didn't know her history or how she really started modeling. Yeah, so I was discovered when I was in the 6th grade, 7th grade. I was like 11, 10, I can't even remember how young you are then. But I was on a business trip with my dad to New York City. It was the first time I'd ever been in a big city, so it was really fun. But I got scouted, and at the time, I was thin, but I wasn't thin enough to do it. And they do scout girls that young. Like, you can really get scouted. So, and start developing. But, like, my dad was super against it just because he knew, like, my body shape and how much I weighed and, like, how I was in sports and, like, gaining a lot of muscle at the time. So he kind of vetoed it because he didn't want me to have to lose weight based on my body type. So be stressed as a kid.
Yeah, that's just too much. I think it's really hard.
I think you have to be really strong to be able to handle that in your teenage years.
Yeah, and I think it's different when you're, like, I see some, like, acting people or, like, parents of models
Yes.
that have kids.
Mm-hmm.
My parents didn't know anything about it, so they would have been going in, like, completely blind. And when you don't know, like, how you could be potentially taken advantage of, that just could have been a really just dangerous situation for me.
Yeah.
So my dad vetoed that.
You were also just really young.
I was also really young. Yeah. I didn't even know, like, how to put on deodorant.
Right.
Yeah. So then I went to college and I got a degree, and I had, like, decided I wasn't gonna explore the modeling stuff. And this was about 3 years ago I got scouted, and, like, plus size stuff has, like, boomed over the past 5 years, ever since, like, 2015. So yeah, it's boomed, and I got scouted in a coffee shop in Ohio.
After you graduated.
After I graduated, I was working, like, a real person job over there.
What are you doing?
I was the director of operations for startup. Yeah,
Wow.
fashion, outdoor tech stuff.
Completely different lifestyle.
Yeah, so I sat in a basement and managed logistics.
So when I met you, you were still going back and forth.
Yeah,
And you did that for a while.
yeah, I was living in Ohio, where I had gotten scouted.
Yeah.
I signed with a mother agent there in Ohio, and then came to New York, met with a lot of different agencies. I think October of 2018 I signed with my New York agent, and then I spent, like, the next year just traveling back and forth, like 2 weeks in Ohio, 2 weeks in New York, 2 weeks in Ohio, 2 weeks in New York. It was exhausting.
Yeah.
It's hard and it's necessary. Like, I stayed in model apartments too, and have the stories to talk about it, but there's just certain things you do in the beginning because you're innocent and you don't know and you're not aware, and you go on test shoots and you're like, so exciting, and then,
Or you have to.
yeah, and yeah.
I think it gets to a certain point where, like, you always have to grow and develop as a model, and, like, I'm in a period now where I'm gonna do a few test shoots to, like, amp up my book.
Yeah.
So I feel like you never stop growing, but once you get to a certain level, like, you start saying no to stuff.
Yeah, well, in the beginning you have to
yeah.
put everything out there. You have to, like,
Right.
be open to most opportunities, to most castings. Like,
Yes.
your agents are, like, trying to feel out who, like, likes you and what kind of look you have and what kind of companies want to work with you, and then, like, as you develop, it becomes a little bit more strategic, I think. Or at least it's been that way. It's not been that long for me, so.
Also, if you're working a lot, then you just can't go anywhere. You're stuck.
You're just here.
Yeah.
Or on a plane.
Let's talk about plus size modeling.
Yeah. I can tell that you're nervous saying that word still a little.
Yeah, it's funny because when we were walking to Sweet Green, one of the questions that I asked her is, like, how do you want me to refer to it as? Plus size modeling or curve or whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I feel that way, but I almost don't want to be offensive or something.
Yeah,
I hate
I
that
get
it's like that, but, you know, it's better than just being like,
Yeah.
hey, so.
A plus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there are some girls that may still be. I really don't think many people are offended by it.
Yeah. I
It's
feel
just
like it's not you. Sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, you're fine.
But it's more like non-models and people who aren't in the
Yeah.
industry who are like, huh, she's a plus size model? Like, what does that make me, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like that even more for women that might be bigger than me. They are offended that someone would call me that. It's like, what am I, plus or like plus? Like,
Yeah.
it's just, how do we categorize it? But I think in the fashion industry, it's like anything bigger than a 0 is plus size. Like, I have friends who are size 6 and size 8, and they're on, like, the plus size board.
It's so weird because there's no, like, I feel like anything up to a size 4 is considered straight size because it's not really 0 anymore, like, realistically. And
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't,
like, I'm not a 0.
I thought it was still pretty strict on the measurements.
No, so that's funny.
Yeah,
So
I
now
thought
you get to hear it from us.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's like, I think a lot of clients want more a 2 or 4. They don't really want like a 0, 0, 0.
So, like, how big is too big in the hip that you would move on to, like, a plus size board? Or do they go, which measurements most, see, for us, I feel like in
Definitely
plus
hips.
size it's hips.
Yeah, it's hips for sure. Like, I feel like hips shouldn't be more than a 36. But I know that there's girls with like a 37 or a 38 that still work a lot.
That's still hard,
like,
though. Yeah, that's a hard,
like getting to the line, because
yeah,
for you, they pick your size when they're shooting you, or like in and around, right?
Yeah, yeah.
For us, it's like it's a size 2 no matter what, and you just have to fit into it.
I think a lot of brands still make like a sample size though. It's like Kleinfeld's, I don't know if I can say that. Kleinfeld's is like a 2 and a 12. They don't have anything over than 12, so it's like, this is the sample they make, I have to fit into it. If I didn't fit into it, I couldn't work for them.
Right.
But other like more
what about like
commercial
e-com? If you're doing e-commerce,
they would pick for
your size.
Yeah, or they do like samples, and like one brand I work for, they call it a 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
A lot of like plus size brands are starting to do that and like redefine what numbers mean.
Okay.
Say that I'm in their brand, I'm like a 0 or 1 or something, so they'll bring in a whole sample size of 0 1s, and then they'll fly me in to do that day. Wow. So I still have to fit.
Yeah.
They usually don't have multiples unless it's like a rental or something like that. Wow, this is a lot more similar than I thought.
It's crazy because we work together a lot, but like it's like we don't know about each other's boards or each other's brands, I guess.
Yeah.
It's so interesting. And I was also saying to her like how, at least for me, it's so refreshing to, you know, be at work and like more often than not there's like body diversity, and I love that so much, because for the longest time it was like just always size 2s on set.
17 magazine, I remember back in the day like reading that, and it was just like one body type, and that was it. Like that was the only thing. And now you see these campaigns and it's like everybody,
all kinds of people.
Yeah, even different heights and sizes and stuff. It's crazy. So
yeah, she's like, you guys obviously won't see this because it will be edited, but she's like getting a taste of what it's like to actually film a video and how many times I mess up.
It's fantastic. It makes me feel better about starting this. So
it's like always,
and like a normal conversation isn't just like beep, 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 beep. There's like a break.
It's true. Yeah. Let's talk about diet and exercise, because that's another thing that like we as models, or as straight size models, have to do, or at least I have to do. But you are pretty big on that as well.
Yeah, definitely. I always tell my husband, I'm like, I don't want to feel squishy. I'm like, I don't want to feel like that.
I want to feel firm.
I want to feel
like strong.
You know, if somebody like came up to me on the street, like I could like maybe take care of myself with, you know, with it. So I do a lot of weightlifting that like helps me keep my measurements where they need to be. And I don't do it for it, but I think sometimes I do get afraid about doing like really high cardio or like strictly like burning calories, because then I'm just gonna shrink down into like a size that I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I feel like I do have to be concerned when it comes to working out about like losing too much weight.
Okay.
Staying in some side of things just so I can like, my clients can continue to work with me and stuff like that. Yeah. But yeah, I do like weightlifting and things like that because it
does everything, and it makes you feel tight.
It makes me feel good.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think a lot of people don't know that, especially if you're not in the industry, that it's kind of a big, I don't know. I wouldn't say I think about it all the time or every minute of the day, but it's a lot to have to think about to stay the same size all the time.
Yeah, like women, as women, we change so much.
Yeah, we fluctuate a lot.
Like when your period comes or something like that, or like hormones happen, like you might like retain more water than certain times, or like what you eat changes that, even if it's just like the amount of sodium in your diet and stuff like that. Like for me personally, if I'm eating anything with gluten, I'm probably going to gain a lot of weight.
Amen to that.
Or just gain weight in general. Like my body, there's certain foods that my body's like, I don't know what to do with this, so like
it just doesn't,
I'm gonna put it somewhere.
Tolerate it properly.
Yeah, totally. So I still have things that I like don't eat. I don't eat nearly as clean as you do for sure. But that's just like, there's certain things still that like don't make me feel good and don't make me feel good about myself that I don't choose to do.
Yeah. So. I love that you eat and you work out because you want to feel good.
Yeah.
Because I do the same thing. Like, yes, of course I want to stay in shape for modeling, and yes, like I have to watch my weight and my measurements, but now I just like, I want to feel good every day. I want to be productive. I want to not have stomach pains and stomach issues, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah. And you don't, like, I don't want to feel like food rules my life. Like, I don't want to feel like I am too addicted to certain things, or I don't eat, or I feel super restrictive, or I want to feel like it's something that is nourishing me, and it's something that I can even enjoy too. Like, I love to cook, and I like want to be able to.
You have an amazing kitchen.
Yeah. That was like the number one thing when looking for an apartment. I was like, I need to be able to cook, and
save so much money as well. Like, it really
especially
does.
in New York, it's insane. You go out to eat and it's like, hi, I'll have half of your wallet.
Yeah, for 2 people, especially if you're going out as a couple, spend money so easily.
Right now, I'm not drinking alcohol. I just can tell, like, my body's not happy with it.
You don't want it.
I don't want it. Every time I drink it, my face like swells and I get a new pimple. So I'm like, maybe not today.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So, I've never been a big drinker. Oh my gosh, I almost just like choked so hard.
Where's your water?
It's okay. I'm like my tears are watering.
My body's like sad for you. It's like, I'm sorry you had to choke. Yeah, I never understand why we tear up when we choke. Anyways,
oh my gosh, what was I just on about?
You're talking about how you're not a big drinker and then you choke.
Oh yeah, I've never been a big drinker. Still, I'm not. If I have more than 2 drinks, hell yeah, it's gonna show on my face. It's gonna show on my skin.
Yeah,
I'm gonna feel like shit.
Yeah,
it's just not optimal for your body.
Yeah, it's just like the things we have to be concerned with because we chose this career path.
Yeah,
like, unfortunately, like, or fortunately,
I think it's fortunately.
Yeah,
do you?
I think it's fortunately.
Yeah,
I think like a lot of people can glamorize modeling, and it's like, well, like, are you willing to put yourself out there every day? Are you willing to like choose not to drink or eat or work out or like
just like participate in everything all the time? I think we can still do everything, but we have to really moderate.
Yeah, it's like, compared to my job before, it's so much more, the word I'm thinking of is invasive. Like, it
is invasive.
It's like every second of every day, every choice I make has to be thought out and pertaining to, like, do I have a customer? Do I have a job? Like, is this gonna affect how much I'm getting booked?
Yeah,
like, I don't know. It sounds
so true.
sad, but that's just part of this job, is to think about those things.
You either can handle it or you can't. Yeah. And if you can't, then that's okay. Like, I really don't think that this job is for everyone.
Yeah.
But I do think when you choose it, and I like you for that also, because your mindset is really good. You know, like, listen, I made this choice. I'm gonna like do these things. If you make the choice to be a model and do this career, you have to kind of deal with those, not consequences, but just what comes with it.
It's like, if you apply for a job, you better have the resume to, I don't know, you gotta, like, you have to do your job.
Yeah, just be prepared to like I hate when, and I might stir the pot with this comment.
We're like
I'm stirring the pot today. I find it really frustrating when girls complain excessively, or they want all the good things, but they're not willing to deal with all the not so good things or all the sacrifices. It's like, well, what do you expect?
Yeah, it's not easy. It's I totally agree. It's like, we have like, well, no, I have a lot of people message me about wanting to become a model and stuff, and it can be very the surprising part about it that I didn't know before I started is how, like, lonely it can be.
Oh, good topic.
Yeah,
good topic. Let's talk about that. Especially when you're first starting as a model. It's
so lonely, and I think that relationships are the most important thing in life. Like, even more than career. Like, at the end of the day, it's like, who is going to be around you? Who do you love? Like, who matters to you? At least for me, that's what I think. But when you're modeling, it's like you're in this model's apartment by yourself. You don't know anybody. You go on set, you don't know anybody. Or you, like,
every day you don't know anybody. Or unless you've been there for a while and it's like you see faces, but you don't.
But in the beginning,
yes,
you
don't
like,
know anybody.
You don't even know your agents. Like, you're like, who are you? You know, everything is an introduction, and they might be sending you to, like, your first job in a different city. It's like, it's the first time in my adult life I was in a hotel room completely by myself, like for days. And you're like, this is a little bit like solitary confinement. Like, I'm like, I'm truly alone. Like, you know, it's just, it's definitely a lot more lonely than it appears, I think.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah.
And that's actually something that I personally haven't really talked about on my channel, because I'm so good with being alone and I really enjoy being alone. And if I feel lonely, I'll call someone, but a lot of girls aren't.
Yeah, I'm super extroverted.
Yeah.
My husband makes fun of me for that all the time.
Oh, does he?
He could be by himself in a cave for the rest of his life and be just as happy as...
No, you just need like
I just
to be
need
around
to know
people
the
and
world
have outside
exists.
energy. Yeah.
Yeah, I am very like outward processor. I love, like, my favorite thing in life is like sharing an experience with another person like this. Like, those are the things that I like thrive off of. So so that was definitely an adjustment when I started modeling. It's like, like how like you and you're traveling to new places, and it's like my grandma will be like, oh, how was San Francisco? It's like, oh, it was great, but like
Didn't really see much because I was shooting all day and then I went home to the hotel.
And if I choose to go see something, it's like that memory was only made with me, which is really cool to make memories by yourself and like have that sort of like self-love to be like, I went to a restaurant by myself and I went and saw this thing by myself. But sometimes it can be like, man, I really wish my mom was here to see this, or so it's
a significant other,
just someone to be like, remember that time we did that thing? So that was a transition. Now it's better. I feel like I'm every time I take a plane trip, I call my grandma. Every time I like, you know, get to a hotel, I like check in with her. So it's different.
You figure out like what your needs are during those times and how to cope with that.
Totally.
But yeah, it is hard in the beginning.
Totally.
We're at the almost
we're almost good.
Okay, so we're almost at the end of the video. You guys know I always ask every guest the same question. But if you had any advice for someone who is just getting into modeling, or someone who dreams of pursuing a modeling career, what would you tell them?
There's lots of things, because I feel like I just did it, but I would definitely learn how to not take things personally as like quick as possible. Like, I took this is really weird, but I took a pottery class, and she said in the class, like, the thing that I want you to learn in this class is to not take things personally and to learn non-attachment. And I took that right before I started modeling, and that like I would like work on this little pot and then it would just obliterate in my hand. And that happens sometimes in modeling. Like you go into a casting and you don't hear back from them, or you know, and it's like,
or an agency or even a job, and you don't get booked again.
And it's really easy to take those things personally and be like, it's because of this, and then you start like getting in your head and you fill in the blanks, even though no one filled in those blanks for you. So I would just say be careful of taking things personally and filling in the blanks for other people when they didn't tell you what they were thinking. So
I love that. It's so true, because you just end up overthinking, and half the time it's just because you're not the right fit for the job, or you're not the right fit for the agency, and it ends up being a blessing, because something better will come along. You know what I mean? It's not even like about size or hair color. Sometimes it's like, I've even been dropped from jobs because the samples didn't come in. You know, they might cast for an entire set of plus size girls, and then the samples don't come in and they don't pick anybody. So it's like, a lot of the times it doesn't have to do with you, or it doesn't have to do with you personally. It's just how it goes. And so just like, my agents tell me like all the time, like, just ride the craziest roller coaster you've ever ridden. And it's like, don't get discouraged, don't take things personally, and just, you know, don't let yourself get in your head and stir. That's really good advice. Listen to it, rewind, listen to it again, drill it in your brain. It's really important. Because modeling, it's so personal and it's so invasive. I'm going to use the word that you used earlier, but it really has nothing to do with you as a person. I've actually spoken about this in a video before, because this was one of the things that I had to realize too. It feels personal, but it's not personal. There's nothing more like invasive feeling than walking in front of a casting director and there's 40 other models like sitting right there, and that happens. Like, we had it the other day. The other day we did this casting, there was a long ass line. Yeah. It went out the door, and like you had to, what was it, walk, you had to model, you had to make a little video in front of all these people who were waiting in line, answer questions. It was a lot.
Yeah, so I feel like that's like every cast I've been to this week.
Oh, okay.
For some reason. I think it's Fashion Week stuff, but
yeah, definitely. But yeah, sometimes I've had not auditions, but castings where they'll ask you to dance, and there will be 40 other people sitting in chairs waiting to do the same thing, watching you.
Yep, I'm super sensitive, so it's like I've had to, that's why I think I give that advice, because I had to learn it, because I took everything so personally, and I got really upset if I was in a room with 40 girls and I getting picked. I'm like, but be realistic, Karah, like there's 40 other people, like you can't think like they were like picked up your comp card and said like, you're the one girl that we don't
You're
want.
the one.
It's like, no, there were like 39 other girls who also, you know, and it's not,
whatever the excuse might be, or whatever the reason. Yeah, exactly. So, bottom line.
Yeah.
Don't fill in the blanks. Thank you so much for being here. Well, thanks for having me here, because this is not my apartment.
Yeah, thanks for having me on your channel. This has been super fun.
Yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new. Don't forget to follow Karah on Instagram. It will be linked in the description box below. And I'll see you in the next one.
Bye. Bye.